Channel 5 urges you to support the Martha O'Brien Center.
New Hampshire, we buried the label Dark Horse.
I'm going to give this everything I've got, and I ask for your help. This fight has just begun. Thank you very much.
Politics, said Bismarck, is no exact science, and Bismarck hadn't even been to New Hampshire, which gave us all a jolt and apparently a horse race in the primary vote yesterday. Good morning to you. This is a special edition of the CBS Morning News. This half hour, we'll hear from the victor, Gary Hart, and we'll hear from the head of the reportedly invincible Mondale organization. He joins us for a talk the morning after here in New Hampshire. But let's check in first with Bill Curtis, who affirms that even he was surprised. Bill?
It was a big surprise. Lots of news from New Hampshire and also from the rest of the world. Weather across the eastern half of the country is making the news. And the real election, I guess, Michael Jackson, it was by a landslide in the Grammys, making history with a record 8 Grammys. This morning, we will be talking with the man behind the news and the new attempt by Braniff Airlines to get off the ground. Jay Pritzker will be with us. Edwin Moses, the hurdler. But for politics this morning, let's go back to where it all happened, New Hampshire, and the big story. Diane.
If by any chance you missed it, the voters of New Hampshire have proven once again that the future is as unpredictable as the past. They made apologizers of the pundits and a serious candidate of Gary Hart. He won more than 39,000 votes, about 40% of the total. Walter Mondale received 28,000 or 29%. John Glenn ran third with 13%. Jesse Jackson finished fourth with about 6%, followed by George McGovern with 5%. About 5% of the voting Democrats also wrote in Ronald Reagan's name. Ernest Hollings finished 6th, Alan Cranston 7th, and Reuben Askew 8th with 1%. In the Republican primary, no surprises, Ronald Reagan won 97% of the Republican votes. And in terms of the delegates to the Democratic National Convention, Hart has won 10 of New Hampshire's 18 up for grabs. Mondale won the other 8. Nationwide, CBS News now estimates that Mondale has 181 delegates to date. John Glenn has 36, Gary Hart 24, Alan Cranston has 13, Jesse Jackson 12, Ernest Hollings has 9, Reuben Askew 6, George McGovern does not yet have any. A few minutes ago, Gary Hart stopped in to talk with us, and he was clearly a man with a new vision of his future, at least his future in the primaries. I asked him if he had a chance for a private moment of celebration.
The one private moment was between when I went to bed and when I went to sleep.
Just a sigh of relief.
That's right.
Huh?
Yes.
Well, we, of course, are the purveyors of cold reality the morning after. Walter Mondale has said he's going hand-to-hand with you. 3 weeks, 25 races, 1,300 delegates. You've got to get out there. Which states, which of those 25 are you going to win?
Well, we're going to contest in Massachusetts in one or more southern states as well as western caucus states, and I am looking forward to the debate between Vice President Mondale and myself over the future and the past of this party, because I think that is now the contest.
And which ones are you going to win?
Well, we'll wait and see. I have been saying we would do well in Iowa and New Hampshire, and people didn't believe me, so we'll wait and see as time goes on.
What about the big industrial states? Illinois, Michigan. You going to win those?
I'll do very well in those states. I don't need to win this nomination in March, but I will win it, and we will do very well in all parts of this country.
You mentioned last night that this was not a campaign which was exactly loaded with money, which I think brought derisive laughter from your followers. Can you raise the kind of money? He's got a $9 million campaign chest right now.
Well, we saw last night what money does and does not do. Up to a point, money is extremely helpful, and certainly in paying workers and so forth, it's necessary. But after that, it really is the message, and it really is the idea of the campaign. And the idea of this campaign is, I think, an overwhelming one, that this party and this country must move forward and must adopt a new generation of leadership and a new vision. If that is the case, the money will be there, and it's coming in, I must say, much more strongly than ever before.
New ideas. Do you think that in this New Hampshire primary, the people responded to a new idea of yours or to the idea of new ideas? Because certainly one doesn't get the sense that there was one galvanizing idea. And if there was one, tell us which one it was.
No, there wasn't one, but it was a combination of a sense that we need to reform our military institutions, we need to reform and modernize our industrial base in this country, we need to rebuild our basic infrastructure, we need to change fundamentally our foreign policy. And those ideas I've been talking about in great detail, both in writing and in discussing.
Do you think most people really know about those in detail, or do you think that it really was, at this point in the campaign, at least a case of the message being bigger than perhaps the details?
Well, throughout I've said that there are circles in this campaign, and as you broaden the circles, the message gets somewhat simpler. But for a year, I've been going from living room to living room in New Hampshire, explaining what I believe and where I think this country must go, and most voters understood that, I think.
Anybody come to you yet and said they're going to throw in with you?
None of the other 7 candidates, but a lot of their workers are saying that they're coming, and including some of their financial fundraising people.
And I know you're getting ready to head out now to a plant gate.
That's right.
To thank the New Hampshire.
Thank the workers of New Hampshire. I listen to them as well as talk to them, and I learned a great deal in this state and folded that into the message that we used, and I want to thank the people of the state who've been so helpful to us.
Senator Gary Hart, we want to thank you for dropping by on your way around this morning.
Thank you.
And here's what Walter Mondale had to say last night about the unexpected results.
I am ready to contest every primary. I'm ready to campaign from Bangor to Birmingham, from Puget Sound to Tampa Bay. I am ready to run this race and win. We've only begun this campaign, and I have only begun to fight.
And there is other news this morning. For that, we return to Bill in New York. Bill?
Well, the South, the Midwest, and the Northeast have all something in common this morning. It is snow. Ohio is under a state of emergency under 6-foot drifts. National Guardsmen are trying to sweep the snow from main state roads, but high winds keep sweeping it right back. The storm center is moving east, threatening the Northeast with several inches of new snow. In New York City, a jet landing in stormy weather skidded off a Kennedy Airport runway into a shallow bay last night. This morning, federal investigators are trying to learn why. The passengers rafted, waded, and swam to shore from the Scandinavian Airlines DC-10. 10 people were slightly hurt. The wreckage of a U.S. Air Force jet was found this morning in the mountains of northeast Spain. There were no survivors. 17 American servicemen and 1 Spaniard were aboard the C-130 transport, which was reported missing last night. No word yet on the cause of the crash. I've done a lot of wrong, caused a lot of hurt. I'm ready to see this through. And with that, convicted killer Johnny Taylor went to his death in Louisiana's electric chair early this morning. It was the state's 2nd execution in less than 2 months, the 13th execution since the Supreme Court reinstated the death penalty. 2 mothers and their 5 children have been killed in an apartment fire in Newport, Kentucky, across the Ohio River from Cincinnati. 3 other residents were hurt last night. Firemen say 2 of the victims apparently had tried to race ahead of the flames. Their bodies were found near a window leading to a fire escape. Cause is being investigated. Lebanese President Amin Gemayel arrived in Damascus this morning to meet with Syrian President Assad. Reports say Gemayel is seeking to save his government from a challenge by Syrian-backed rebels. Assad has demanded Gemayel scrap the U.S.-sponsored troop withdrawal agreement with Israel. And it was a thriller of a night at Grammy Awards ceremonies, and Pat Collins has details after a long late night for you.
Yes, well, unlike New Hampshire, the 26th annual Grammy Awards presentation was not a night of surprises. The 25-year-old superstar Michael Jackson swept a record 8 awards, including Best Album for Thriller and Record of the Year for the #1 single Beat It. Jackson's prize-winning night was music to the ears of the audience, but he struck a responsive chord by removing his sunglasses.
Okay, well, Katharine Hepburn, who is a dear friend of mine, she told me I should, and I'm doing it for her, okay? And the girls in the back.
And we'll have more on the Grammys later on the program.
That was the big news of the night. Thank you, Pat. We will be back with more in a moment.
Time now 9 minutes past the hour, and coming up, we'll talk with Walter Mondale's campaign chairman about what happened in New Hampshire.
It's today, folks. Castner Knot's Leap Year Sale. We're knee-deep in specials, knee-deep in door prizes, knee-deep for 13 hours, starting 9 a.m. today at Castner Knot.
Today, winning is more than being first. It's living well and eating right with Roman meal bread.
Wings on your feet, let your smile come shining through.
You're on top of the world and enjoying the view. You're happy and fit and going for more. Roman meal
The right way to go.
Hello, friends. Tribute Transmission gives one exact price. No guessing, no double talk, one exact price. Call us first.
Olympic coins help support U.S. athletes in the '84 Summer Games.